Today, we dive into one of the most dangerous and dramatic storylines the show has teased in months. Hope betrayed, Thomas's shocking manipulation. As Thomas Forrester prepares for his highly anticipated return at the beginning of September, the stage is being set for a storm of emotions, business moves, and personal betrayals that could shake Forrester Creations to its core. Let's break down everything you need to know about this shocking twist. The bold and the beautiful spoilers leave no doubt: Thomas Forrester is returning. But what kind of return is this? A hero's redemption arc? Or the re-emergence of a predator hiding in plain sight? For the Forrester family, Thomas is both blessing and curse. He's the creative genius who once single-handedly lifted hope for the future to glory, but he's also the man who allowed obsession, manipulation, and betrayal to consume him. Hope Logan knows this all too well, because she was the one caught in the crossfire of his darkest schemes. Right now, hope for the future is in crisis. Sales have stalled. Inspiration has evaporated. Even the Forrester name can't shield the line from decline without fresh designs. Steffi has refused to sacrifice her own artistic energy to keep the line alive, leaving hope stranded. And when a brand that defines your career, and your identity, begins to collapse, desperation takes root. That's when Thomas steps back into the spotlight. Not just as a designer, but as the figure who could determine whether Hope's dream survives or dies. For some, he's the savior of the line. For others, he's a serpent slithering back into the garden. So here lies the ultimate question: is Thomas returning to save Hope, or to use her in the most dangerous game yet? Hope Logan's journey has never been about money or fame, it's been about meaning. Hope for the future isn't just a fashion line. It's her personal mission, her pride, her baby. Without it, she feels hollow. Losing it would mean losing a part of herself. That's why Carter Walton's encouragement strikes so deeply. Carter pushes her to fight, to not give up on what she created. And Hope listens, because giving up is not in her nature. But sometimes, fighting for survival leads to choices that carry hidden dangers. Hope knows Thomas. She knows his brilliance comes at a price. She knows his history. How easily admiration for her turns into obsession. How quickly love turns into control. Yet, as she watches her brand slip away, she begins to convince herself that maybe working with Thomas again is worth the risk. After all, without him, there might be no future for Hope for the future. But desperation has a way of clouding judgment. And in her desperation, Hope risks walking straight into a trap disguised as opportunity. Because Thomas may not be the same man she once rejected. He may be calmer now, more measured, more calculating. And that makes him far more dangerous. On the surface, Thomas's return will look perfect. He'll present himself as the man who has changed, smiling, professional, eager to contribute. His sketches will dazzle, his charm will persuade. The Forresters, and even Hope, may begin to believe he has turned over a new leaf. But beneath that polished mask, a darker possibility simmers. What if this is not about fashion at all? What if Thomas's designs are just the bait, and Hope is the prize? Thomas has always hungered for two things: hope and power. With this comeback, he could claim both in one stroke. Imagine the scenario. Thomas revives Hope for the future, making himself indispensable again. Hope grows grateful, dependent even, on his vision. Carter looks like an outsider while Thomas becomes the partner Hope trusts most. Step by step, the lines between business and intimacy blur. And here's the brilliance of the scheme. Thomas wouldn't need to force anything. He could weave his control through subtle gestures. A late-night design session, a well-timed compliment, a reminder that he alone understands her dream. Slowly, quietly, Hope could find herself pulled back into his orbit, until she realizes too late that she's no longer steering her own destiny. This isn't just a love story. It's a power play. And if Thomas's true agenda is manipulation, then Hope may be on the brink of the cruelest betrayal of her life. Romance on The Bold and the Beautiful is never simple. It's a battlefield where loyalty, desire, and temptation collide. Hope Logan stands at the center of this storm. She is engaged to Carter Walton, a man who embodies stability, respect, and safety. Carter is the kind of partner who values honesty, who sees Hope not as a possession but as an equal. For many women, he would be the dream. But stability has a way of losing its shine when passion knocks on the door. And that passion has a name: Thomas Forrester. The chemistry between Hope and Thomas has always burned beneath the surface. Even at their lowest points, when Hope hated him, when she distrusted every word out of his mouth, there was still tension in the air, undeniable and magnetic. Now, with their professional lives colliding again, those buried sparks are threatening to ignite into uncontrollable flames. Yet the situation is even more tangled. Thomas still carries the weight of his connection to Paris Buckingham. Their engagement may be fragile, but it still lingers like unfinished business, ready to complicate everything if Thomas dares to pursue Hope again. This is the cruel paradox. If Hope lets herself fall back toward Thomas, she risks betraying Carter, betraying herself, and becoming entangled in a dangerous game of manipulation. But if she resists, the tension may tear her apart from within. And lurking in the shadows is Daphne Rose. Sharp, ambitious, and patient, Daphne sees opportunity where others see chaos. If Hope becomes distracted by Thomas, Daphne could strike, claiming Carter for herself and shattering Hope's world in the process. That means this isn't just about one love triangle. It's a domino effect that could destroy multiple relationships, leaving heartbreak in its wake. In any battle of manipulation, the strongest weapon is not force, it's gratitude. Hope knows her line. Hope for the future cannot survive without Thomas's brilliance. She knows the Forrester family judges her line more harshly when his magic touch is missing. And now, with Thomas stepping back in, every design, every sketch, every word of encouragement feels like salvation. But that gratitude could be her undoing. Because when someone rescues you, when someone steps in to breathe life into your dreams, the lines between professional respect and personal affection begin to blur. You stop seeing the person for who they are. You see them as the lifeline keeping you afloat. Thomas understands this better than anyone. Every design he delivers could feel like a gift, but what if those gifts are chains? What if every solution he provides is another step in binding Hope closer to him, not just professionally, but emotionally? Gratitude, in the hands of a manipulator, becomes a cage. And Hope may not even realize she's stepping inside until the door slams shut. At its heart, this storyline is about one haunting question. Has Thomas truly changed? Or is this just his most dangerous game yet? On the surface, Thomas will look transformed. He'll act humble, supportive, encouraging. He'll convince Hope, Carter, and even Ridge that he's a man who has left his darker impulses behind. To the casual eye, it will look like redemption. But longtime fans know better. Thomas has never been a man of simple intentions. His obsession with Hope has defined him for years. It has driven him to lies, betrayals, and manipulations that left scars on both their lives. And obsessions don't vanish overnight, they evolve. The real danger is that Thomas's obsession may no longer look like wild, reckless desperation. Instead, it may come cloaked in patience, charm, and subtlety. And that makes it even more powerful. So here's the chilling choice B&B is laying before us. Either we are watching a genuine redemption, where Thomas finally rises as a true partner and hero. Or we are watching the beginning of the ultimate manipulation, one so quiet and cunning that by the time Hope realizes what's happening, it will already be too late. For Hope, the stakes could not be higher. This isn't just about love or fashion. It's about her future, her identity, and her ability to see the truth before it destroys her. The pieces are on the board. Hope, desperate to save her line. Thomas, returning with talent, charm, and secrets. Carter, trying to protect Hope while unknowingly standing in the line of fire. Daphne, ready to pounce if cracks begin to show. And Paris, whose future with Thomas could collapse in the fallout. Every one of them is tied to this storyline, and every one of them could lose everything depending on Thomas's next move. Hope may believe she's reviving her brand, but she might just be reviving Thomas's obsession. And that, Bold and the Beautiful fans, is why this storyline is set to explode. Hope's betrayal, Thomas's shocking manipulation, a love triangle on the verge of collapse, and Forrester Creations bracing for chaos. Stay tuned, because this is only the beginning. What do you think? Is Thomas truly coming back as a hero, or is he ready to play his dirtiest game yet? Comment your predictions below, and don't forget to subscribe for more Bold and the Beautiful updates.